Strength assessments are a really important thing to your clients, but you need to understand when the appropriate time to do that. So we're going to go through that for each of these strength assessments. We also cover this in the individual videos for each strength assessment. So really good idea for gauging a client's strength, tracking process, and guiding the decision-making process in future training programs. And the main ones we're going to use are the back squat, bench press, chin-up, and deadlift. Now, the rules apply to any other exercise. So you can use any exercise as long as it's appropriate as a strength test. There's nothing wrong with using a military press, a pendlay row, a barbell clean. There's lots of different exercises that you can use for a strength test. These are ones that people have used an absolute ton. So back to our assessment. For beginner clients, we really kind of don't want to do it straight away. We want to kind of look at for intermediate clients, people who've got some experience with doing the back squat exercise rather than the beginner. A beginner is going to be doing goblet squats and learning the technique. When someone's still learning the technique, it's not really useful to assess their maximal strength. For advanced clients, 6 to 8 weeks to 16 weeks, based on their powerlifting cycle, that's when you want to do these strength assessments. Generally, over a period of time, strength assessments take longer, have a longer gap in between, simply because as people get stronger, their rate of adaptation slows. So you can do a test like maybe once or twice a year for an advanced client, and then that's when you're going to see some meaningful increases. So I know for myself personally, as an athlete, it took me a long time to get from a 200 squat to a 220 kilo squat. It took a fair amount of time to get there versus how long it took for me to get from 60 to 120. It was a much shorter period of time. So as you become stronger, the rate of progression slows dramatically. So, when not to perform them, if a client has mobility restrictions and new lifters. With the bench press, same rules apply as before. We want to look at with intermediate clients and advanced clients only. And if a client has never bench pressed before, certainly not useful. Okay. You don't perform these with clients with shoulder or wrist issues or with new lifters because they won't have the technique down pat. Same thing with the chin up. With the chin up, the client needs to be able to do reps of chin ups before you do maximal strength. So with that, I would spend a fair bit of time building people up before we start testing their maximum chin up strength, which you would do with a weight belt. And you wouldn't do it with clients with shoulder or elbow injuries in particular, or clients who have never really performed it before. And then finally, deadlift, the same thing. This is the one where I'd want to get people to get more advanced than anything else, simply because the deadlift has the highest risk to reward ratio of all the exercises that we've mentioned. This doesn't mean the deadlift is unsafe, but because the deadlift involves more tissue than any other exercise, it has the highest risk out of all the exercises that we have so far. Again, risk isn't a bad thing. It's just part of exercising. So we just need to consider that. And we certainly wouldn't do it with anyone who's got a current existing back issue or a client who's new to a hinge movement. If you follow these rules, you'll be doing strength assessments at the right time with your clients.